Okay, so today we have Jasper Thompson, author of Fun Games and Hard Times, My Life as a Football Lad, and Battle with FND. So, how are you today, Jasper?
I'm not bad, Matty. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm good.
Nice one.
Been after this interview for a while, so I'm glad it's happening, mate.
Well, cheers, man. Thank you.
So let's crack on. So, can you remember when your first football match was?
Well, my dad used to take me when I was a nipper, but the first real game I remember was Portsmouth at home, 79-80. Would have been about 8-9 year old.
Right.
And when the teams were warming up, Mobber Pompey come in a clear dessert terrace, and I thought, Jesus, what's happening here? Completely run the terrace, and then just before the game started, Town's mob come in, and they chased them all over the place. So that was the real game I can remember when I was a kid, yeah.
And did you say you was 9 years old?
Yeah. About 8.
Was just watching what was going on.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. When did you first start going on your own with your pals? What sort of era was that?
Well, the thing was, in the 80s, the 70s and 80s, the town where I was born, in Edmundwike, was between Leeds and Huddersfield. Well, my family, my dad and all that lot, they were involved. They had a coach. And they used to call it the Chili Bus Crew. It was my uncle.
Right.
So you could say I was born into this life.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
And that
lasted
you're
till the
always going to follow what your dad does, aren't you?
Well, yeah.
And your so how old was you then? How old was you then, Jasper?
Well, I was just a kid, really. But when I was getting older, you try getting involved. I'll kick or something, odd punch, throw a brick,
But really, you're on the outskirts of it, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're not involved. Can you remember when you first started really getting involved in what I call the naughty side of football?
Oh, I'd say mid-80s, late 80s, yeah. Without a doubt, yeah.
And how old would you have been then?
15, 16, yeah.
15, so a teenager.
Yeah.
Looking for excitement.
Yeah, definitely.
You turn to football, the naughty side of it.
Yeah.
Attracted you for whatever reason, but it did.
Yeah.
You've said that you was on the coach with your dad and your uncle.
Friends and that, yeah. There were about 50 in total. They had a really good reputation in the 70s and 80s. Yeah.
Did they have a name, Jasper?
The Chili Bus Crew, after my uncle.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah, you've just said that. Chili Bus Crew.
Yeah,
okay. So that was sort of the firm that was back when you first sort of started. Can you remember when... Did it stay as the Chili Bus Crew, or did it change to another name? Did it morph into something else?
Well, that were us from Edmundwike. There were different crews, There were the Ken Margaret crew from Huddersfield and that. But I was with the Edmundwike bus till about the early 90s. And I started knocking about with some lads. And we used to travel in a van or minibus.
Right.
We had some great times. Like, we took some good firms over the years, but when you've got a solid 15, 20, you could cause some damage.
Yeah. That sort of leads me on to the next question, really, Jasper, is that the firms that you've sort of rated that, what fascinates me is I've interviewed people from Chelsea. Yeah. I've interviewed people from West Ham, Mill. Huddersfield has always been in the lower leagues. So what was it like in the lower leagues, mate? Can you explain?
It was absolutely brilliant. The atmosphere, the old grounds, everything. It was just great back then. Now, with these new stadiums and that and what there's no atmosphere at anything. But back then, it was just great.
So Jasper, you've just elaborated a little bit there. You're not a fan of modern football.
No.
I mean, I've interviewed other guys that said it's sanitized and it's not a real game and stuff. Would you agree with that it's been stolen from the working class?
Definitely, mate. Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, completely.
Yeah.
Okay, mate. We'll talk a little bit about your book. Now, you co-wrote it with Martin King, who's co-wrote many books. So, can you tell me how that come about and why you decided to write your book?
Well, it were in 2010. I collapsed one day and I couldn't move or anything. So they sent me to hospital, different hospitals and stuff like that. And I thought, shit, what's happening here? And I couldn't move. Anyway, I ended up in a wheelchair for 4 years, which I hated. I didn't like it at all. And then it was my partner's idea, Janine. She said, why don't you write about, your experiences and stuff, with town, with England, and it'll take your mind off things. So I started writing it all down on, pieces of paper, on my phone. And I must admit, it took my mind off things. Yeah.
So you didn't have a laptop?
No.
So you literally wrote down your memoirs on a piece of paper?
Yeah, on pieces of paper, on a phone. Like I were in and out of hospital. I were in a ward at Leeds for 3 months. And I did most of it in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how did Martin King sort of get involved then? Did you know him or
I heard of him.
Contacted?
Yeah, I've heard of him, but I didn't know him. And I just sent him an email saying, can you just have a look at this, please? And I told him all the crack of that. Anyway, he said, I'll have a look into it. He said, I'll give you a ring. Anyway, he gave me a ring, and the first time I spoke to him, it was if I'd known him for years. We just clicked just like that.
Okay, yeah. And
he said he liked the book, and he said, I want to get it out there. So, thanks to Martin. And Martin's a brilliant guy. He's a brilliant guy. Got a lot of time for him.
So it probably, even though you started writing it down on pieces of paper, if it wasn't for Martin King, your book probably wouldn't have happened.
I think so, no.
So okay. So elaborating a bit on your book. How long did it take, mate?
A couple of years. Yeah. Because I was in and out of hospital.
For a book, isn't it?
Pardon?
That's quite long to write a book, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I was in and out of hospital, see, they got me doing, physio, got me doing stuff all the time. So I was doing it on the night time, you know what I mean?
Right.
So, yeah.
And did that sort of take your mind off your illness?
Yeah, it did, mate, yes.
Which we're going to speak about in a minute.
Yeah.
Now, your title of your book is Fun Games and Hard Times and My Life as a Football Lad and Battle with FND.
Yeah.
Can you tell my viewers what FND is?
Yeah, it's a functional neurological disorder. Basically, the signals aren't going down properly from the head down to my body. I can't use my left hand side properly. It's a lot weaker than my right. Yeah.
Right. And also I've spoke to you before we started recording, and obviously FND is been a hardship in your life, and that's obviously, to anybody that's easy to understand.
Yeah, yeah.
Mental health, Jasper, you're a big fan of it, aren't you? Well, not a big fan of it. You're a big fan about speaking out and getting people to admit that they've got mental health.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people, different people have mental health, but when it comes to men, we don't like to talk about it.
No, we don't.
Yeah, yeah. And the mental health really started when Jan, my partner, she found a lump on her breast. And I thought, shit, what am I going to do? I thought,
right.
how am I going to look after the woman I love if I can't look after myself? And that's when it got really, really bad. But, everything come back all right. But I'm still, still bad with it. I have good days, I have bad days.
Like anybody, mate.
Yeah.
I mean, in the football world that we're involved in, and it's a very macho culture.
Yeah.
And I spoke to Martin King about this, the guy that helped you with your book, which is a big fan also of trying to get lads to admit that they've got problems.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that, Jasper? Are you a big advocate of it?
Well, I just want to get it out there. If I can help somebody, to get help or whatever, I'll be a happy man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It'll make me happy because it's horrible as mental health. Conditions, mental health, it's an horrible thing. But, people have got to realise that there's always help out there.
Yeah.
If say if your friend's really quiet, ask him if he's okay. Talk to him. Is he all right? Just be open. There's different things you can go to. Just tell your mates, the truth. Your close friends. And yeah.
Because it can be mental health for men. The biggest rate of suicide in England, in Britain at the moment, is young men.
Yeah.
Right. Because it can be very lonely because you don't want to admit it, do you?
No. It took me a long time
going on upstairs.
Yeah. I must say, if it weren't for my partner, Janine, I don't know where we'd be. You know what I mean? She's been great. She's been absolutely great for me. She's an absolute diamond. My family, my close friends. I'd be lost without them. But I started talking about it, telling them, my problems and that, if there's all wrong and stuff. It's good to talk about it, get it out there.
Like I was just going to say, Jasper, how does it feel when you finally start speaking to someone about it?
It felt great. It felt really great. I was nervous at first, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
But, yeah. But people understood, you know what I mean? They understood, they've known me most of my life, my friends and that. And they were great. Everybody rallied round. Not just my friends at Huddersfield. I'm talking about different lads from different firms around country. Bradford, Leeds, Sunderland, Millwall. Everywhere. They all, it were great. Brilliant.
That's really interesting, Jasper, that you've just said that there was different lads from different firms that maybe got in touch. Can you elaborate a little bit more about that and how that happened?
Well, first of all, we're in out of hospital and that, and the Bradford lads were getting in touch with me at first. And then, a couple of Millwall lads, good mates with Millwall as well. And they were sending me stuff and, just texting me all the time, said, keep it up. And, if there's anything you want, anything, you just pick up the phone. and it were great. And then, other firms, they get involved, Nottingham and stuff like that. And they just all rallied round, and it just made me, really humble, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And I mean, these were guys that I guess that you had battles with back in the day.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But as soon as they knew there was a problem, they've been there for you.
Oh yeah, without a doubt, yeah.
And this really does go against the stereotype of mindless football thugs, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That the football community rallied round for you because you spoke out.
Yeah.
I think
that's back in them days, it were fun and games. We know what we're getting into. But now, I've got good friends with, different lads from different firms. And they're great, I go down and, I go to Sunderland a lot, I go to Bradford a lot, and I get treated, with respect and that, and I give respect back, you know what I mean? And it's just brilliant, you can rely on not just your lads as well,
Yeah, that it is so, that's fantastic, Jasper, and it's so interesting that the different lads from different firms actually got involved, and like you can travel to Sunderland, they respect you, and you feel welcome. I just think that really goes against the stereotype that football lads are mindless thugs, which
I was just going to say that, yeah.
Which obviously they're not, are they?
Yeah. Yeah. we just like a good off on a Saturday, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and this is the reason why I do what I do, because I'm alternative to the mainstream media.
Yeah,
I want to give voice to the people out there that have been involved in the subculture of football. That wasn't all about violence.
Oh, no. But I say, with lads, you didn't always kick off. You had a good drink and a laugh. Just the camaraderie of it all, you know what I mean?
Yeah, completely. And then, like you said, friendship. Then the fashion comes in, which I want to talk a little bit about, really. So what, from, I can see you're wearing a Ralphie now.
Yeah. I love me Ralph Lauren.
What have been your sort of favourite labels, mate?
Well, the first labels, Lyle and Scott, Pringle and all that lot. I loved all that stuff. But for me personally, now I like me Ralph Lauren, Lacoste. I like Berghaus, Peter Storm jackets and stuff like that. Because now we Stone Island and stuff like that, everybody's wearing it.
It became a bit of a uniform, didn't it? It's become a bit naff.
Yeah.
It's nice. I like that you mentioned your Peter Storm cagoles.
And Patrick cagoles as well, all stuff like that. I wear stuff like that, Matty. So
no, it's fantastic, mate, because it shows you proper old school. That your CP company and your Stone Island, which has been a massive part of the football culture. I'm not going to lie, but
don't get me wrong. In the early '90s, it was brilliant, but now, everybody's wearing it. I'm thinking, Christ, just stick to the old stuff.
No, I'll go back. I like you if you mention Peter Storm, because I'm a big fan of Peter Storm cagoles.
Yeah, brilliant.
And I just think cagoles are just a football look. It's maybe just a personal thing with me, but I think Peter Storm, you don't see a lot of it about, to be fair. Like you've just said, the Stone Island and stuff. When you was on your travels with Huddersfield, did you ever notice a difference between the southern and northern firms and the way they were dressing?
Well, yeah. You could tell a mile off, especially. We were more like the northern thing, with flag jeans and stuff like that, and Yeah, you could tell. Yeah, we are down.
So you knew when a Southern firm was about.
Yeah, you could tell them. Yeah.
How were they dressed, Jasper? Could you elaborate?
Well, the best dress firms I ever saw in the early 80s when it started coming in were Leeds, Pompey, Chelsea, and Arsenal.
Right.
Arsenal were a really good dress firm. They were one of the best at the time. They just looked so cool, and I thought, I want to dress like that. I want to dress like that. You know, and I get on to my mum, you know, when I was a kid. Oh, can you get us
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And bless her, she did.
No, it is what it is.
She could,
when you see the older lot dressing, and you are attracted to it, of course you're going to want that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
You know,
like Chelsea come to us in '84. They were hell on that day. They brought a massive firm, and they were all dressed in the latest gear. They look great, did Chelsea? You know, they looked a proper dressed up mob, and they were hell on all day.
I was just going to ask you who to Huddersfield who brought the biggest numbers? Was it Chelsea?
No, Newcastle, 84. Yeah, they brought about 15,000 fans that day. And, you know, they had all the Barmies, and they had a firm at the time called the NME, Newcastle's Mainland Express. And they were hell on that day. You know, the coming terrace, it kicking off. They invaded the pitch at the end of the game, smashed all seats up. But around them, our old ground, the Leeds Road ground, you had Newcastle coming in, you had Leeds coming in the terrace, Chelsea, Pompey. They were just mental days then, absolutely mental.
Okay. I want to talk a little bit about Leeds. I want to talk a little about Leeds, Jasper. Yeah. Is that they are like the Millwall of the North. No one likes them, but they don't care.
Yeah. Good firm on the day, though.
How many times did Huddersfield play Leeds, and how many times did you come against the Leeds service crew?
Well, back in the day, in the 80s, they were kicking off all the time. And then we didn't play them for a bit because they ended up in the Premiership in the 90s. And then when they come back, it didn't really kick off, really. We would have massive firms out, but they didn't really come in numbers. I don't know why. But we were taking it to them. You know, we would take 30 lads on a Saturday night, you know, on train.
Right.
You know, take 60 lads but no, nothing really kicked off. It kicked off a few times when we weren't expecting it. But, you know, on their day, Leeds, they're very good. They're very good.
Yeah, you can't knock them, can you?
No.
Yeah, no.
Especially in the 80s.
I mean, you've just mentioned Leeds firm. I'd just like to sort of ask you, what were the main firms that come to Huddersfield back in the day? You know, and even if they didn't come to Huddersfield, I mean, who did you rate? You know, what was the, who was everybody talking about?
Well, Chelsea for a start, Newcastle, Pompey, Man City, they were very good. Bradford, they were good. And, teams like that in the 80s, yeah.
Okay, can you remember what Bradford called their firm?
The Ointment.
The Ointment.
Yeah.
And Man City was
the Governors.
The Governors. And obviously Chelsea was the Headhunters.
Yeah.
Okay. And what name were Huddersfield going by at this time?
Well, we had a few different firms on that, but his main firm, the HYC, Huddersfield Young Casuals, that come about in the mid-80s, late 80s, the HYC.
So you would say that the HYC was probably the main firm or the most well-known from Huddersfield?
Yeah, the well-known firm, yeah. But you had other little firms as well, you know, like going in minibuses or a coach. They didn't have a name. but they just want
okay.
for the aggro.
So, like you sort of you explained to me that Huddersfield had sort of different areas, so they would all sort of congregate, but they wasn't really one big organised firm. It was just different areas.
For a big game or anything like that, we all, come together. But like I said, I preferred it when there were about 15, 20 of us, lads you could trust.
Right.
And we went everywhere. And, we got some good results, and we got a couple of good agents as well.
Yeah, everyone comes unstuck, don't they? I mean, there are some books out there that say that they ran everybody. That's not true, is it, Jasper?
Full of shit, Matty, full of shit.
Yeah.
I've got to say, places where we come up unstuck were like Grimsby, Bury, 1 year, Scunthorpe, Telford. Like, all the towns seemed to come out for you. Not just their firms. They were all the nutters, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like the Bury one, we weren't just fighting their firm. It was like the local rugby team as well, all big stocky bastards and that.
Everybody would get involved.
Yeah. And,
that is fascinating.
Yeah, you had to really be on your guard at some places, you know what I mean? Don't take anybody lightly. Never take anybody lightly.
Right, so, to finish up, Jasper, you obviously have got your book out, which is Fun Games and Hard Times, my life as a football lad and battle with FND, which is available on Amazon. Am I right?
Yeah, Amazon and eBay.
The link will be in the description if anybody wants to buy the book. So, what's life like now for Jasper Thompson? What is he doing these days?
Well, I'm having physio. I'm going to Aquafit. So I've got a couple of carers, you see. Aquafit is like doing exercises in water and stuff. I'm just trying to keep busy, get stronger. And, Janine's a really good help. Because with my condition, it ain't just the walking and stuff like that. I lose my memory. I lose my hearing. I lose my speech sometimes. With the memory, I can't remember a thing. And Janine's got to look after me and stuff.
Very frustrating, yeah.
Yeah, it's all connected to this FND. So, sometimes I'm all right, but people don't see me when I'm really bad. But, Janine looks after me, my carers, my family. They're there for me, you know what I mean?
I mean, even though you've got this condition, Jasper, you sound very blessed that you've got these people around you.
Oh, we are. I don't know what I'd do without them, Matty. Honestly. Like I said, Janine is my soulmate, my rock. She's an absolute diamond.
Okay.
And I spoke to Martin about it as well, because obviously he's struggling a bit,
Yeah.
His cancer and that, and his partner's called Janine, and it's exactly the same. He'll be knackered without her. So both as Johns, they look after us.
Okay, Jasper. I'd just like to finish up saying that you have wrote a couple of articles for my website, which is ukcasuals.wibbly.com. I think it was till 3. There's also an interview on there if anybody would like to read in depth about Jasper Thompson's interview. And thank you very much for today, mate.
Thank you, Matty. Thanks for the opportunity, mate. Cheers.
It's been very interesting to know and to talk to someone from a lower league firm. The reason why I do this, what I explained a little bit earlier, is that it's social history for a start. And I like to give people a voice that the mainstream media won't. So thank you very much, mate. And there'll be more videos coming from UK Casual soon.
Thank you, mate. Cheers, buddy.